Hi there. Welcome to the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. My name is Todd Rhoades. I'm one of the co-founders at chemistrystaffing.com. Today, we are continuing our series on lessons that we can learn from the Apostle Paul from Scripture in the New Testament. And today we're focusing on a quality that's essential for every church leader. And Paul really showed us through how he lived his life this quality, and that is perseverance. So Paul faced incredible challenges in his ministry. I mean, think about it. Persecution, imprisonment, shipwreck. I mean, you name it. I mean, maybe some of us have been persecuted, probably not the same way that Paul was, but we, in our, American way, we feel like we've been persecuted. I doubt that many of us have been imprisoned for our faith. I doubt that anyone listening to this podcast has ever been shipwrecked for the gospel. But Paul experienced all of these things, and yet he never gave up. He always pressed forward. He was always fueled by his unwavering commitment to the gospel and his deep trust in God's provision and God's faithfulness. And today I want to talk about his example because it's a powerful reminder that ministry is a marathon. We've said it here often. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And perseverance is the key to finishing well. Okay, so let's think about some of the hardships that Paul endured. We talked about a few of them. Paul was beaten. I'm a wimp, man. I can't imagine being beaten. But Paul was beaten. He was stoned. He was shipwrecked. He was imprisoned. He constantly faced the opposition on both sides, from the Jews and the Gentiles. Yet he, through all of that, he never lost sight of his calling, and he remained focused on the mission, even when it was difficult, even when it was painful, and even when it was discouraging. Matter of fact, in 2 Corinthians 11, verses 23 through 28, Paul lists a few of the trials that he faced. He says, I've worked much harder. I've been in prison more frequently. I've been flogged more severely. I've been exposed to death again and again. 5 times I received from the Jews 40 lashes minus 1. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was not just shipwrecked once. He was shipwrecked 3 times. He spent a day and a night in the open sea. I've been constantly on the move. I've been in danger from rivers, in danger from bandits, in danger from my own countrymen, in danger from Gentiles, in danger in the city, in danger in the country, in danger in the sea, and in danger from false brothers. And I have labored and toiled and have often gone without sleep. I've known hunger and thirst and have often gone without food. I've been cold and I've been naked. Oh my goodness. As my wife would say, oh my Lanta. Right? Despite all of this, Paul remained steadfast. He refused to be discouraged by setbacks or deterred by opposition. He pressed on. He fueled his passion for the gospel and his trust in God's strength. So here's my encouragement and advice for you today. I mean, ministry can be challenging. I mean, I doubt that any of us, I hope that none of us go through everything that Paul went through, but regardless, we still face setbacks and disappointments and oppositions. But let Paul's example remind us that we can persevere through anything with God's help. Here's some key takeaways. I mean, develop a personal resilience plan. Just as Paul faced physical and emotional trials, so do you, so do I. Create a plan on how you're going to handle the stress and discouragement and burnout before it hits, because you know it's going to hit. If you're in a high spot now, you know the valley's coming. It's just the cycle of life. Now, this personal resilience plan might include, spiritual disciplines and exercise, maybe some healthy boundaries and a support network. But it's really important that you are strong in the good times so that you can be strong in the harder times. And let me leave you with this too today. Identify your why. One thing about Paul, his why was clear. It was crystal clear. Paul's why was to preach the gospel to the Gentiles. What's yours? I mean, clearly defining your purpose and calling will fuel you when things get tough. I mean, write it down. What's your why? Write it down, revisit it often, and share it with someone so that they can hold you accountable. Can you imagine being shipwrecked 3 times? I mean, I am not a good swimmer, so I don't think it would be possible for me to be shipwrecked 3 times. I think once would probably do it for me. I'm not sure I'd ever want to get on a boat again. Matter of fact, I know I wouldn't. But Paul's perseverance, even in the face of such dramatic setbacks, I mean, it's if you think about it, it's truly inspiring. And it reminds us that we can overcome any obstacle with God's help. So here's the bottom line call to action for today. Ministry is a journey of perseverance. There will be challenges and setbacks. Maybe you're living them right now. There will be moments of discouragement. Maybe you're in the valley right now. But know wherever you are on the journey, God's strength and the support of others will help us to press onward and finish well. So this week, take some time to create your own, as we talked about earlier, resilience plan. And as part of that resilience plan, I want you to write it down. Write it down. Maybe you've never thought of it this way, but identify your why. Write it down and then share it with somebody. Share it with me if you want to. Reach out to me, podcast@chemistrystaffing.com. I would love to hear your why. I'd love to hear everybody's why. Matter of fact, do that. Podcast@chemistrystaffing. Just write it down and send it to me. I'd love to hear it. And don't forget to express gratitude to the people and the resources that support you in your ministry. All right, well, that's it for today's Healthy Church Staff podcast. I hope you'll join us again tomorrow. We're going to continue our series this week, finish out this week and next week on the Apostle Paul. I hope it's been really fun for me. I hope it's been encouraging for you as well. So join us again right here tomorrow.